Back out at the Christian Village this morning for the cheap seats on 96.3. Cameron Kurtz and Josh Komnick out here with you. And Josh, we're joined by a very special guest joining us in the house this morning. We have the head coach of the Lincoln College men's basketball team. That's Kirk Whiteman, and the top-ranked Lincoln College team at
Can't beat that.
That's right. Can't get any better than number one.
No.
Coach Whiteman, we thank you for joining us here this morning. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to be with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Coach, the preseason polls have you guys ranked at number one in the country. That is, of course, coming off of your national championship last year. And first of all, congratulations to you on a tremendous season last year. What are some of the things that you're hoping to build upon for this year? And is that number one preseason poll, is that a true testament for what you guys are standing for this year?
You know, we talked about that just the other day when it came out, and I think it's more of a testament to the program, Lincoln College, and what we're all about. I mean, we're ranked number 5 in the nation, number wins for junior college, so there's a lot of tradition there. And to finally break through and win the national championship last year is really special. But, you know, as you head into this season, it was very, very comical. I was talking the other day, Jeff Nelson, one of our employees out there, a friend of mine, sent me an email after that came out, and the email was just a big bullseye. And, you know, you kind of laugh about that as you start looking about it, though. It's true. And so we actually made copies of that and passed it out to our players. And, you know, some things we talked about was, you know, we're not going to talk about repeating or defending really our national championship. It's a new team. It's a new identity. You know, our freshmen want to create their own identity, like we said in the paper. But at the end of the day, you know, I think it's a testament on what happened last year. It's exciting. You know, I mean, it's something to talk about. But these guys need to go out, and they need to understand that now there is a bullseye, and what that means is you're going to get everybody's best game. And so you just got to continue to play at a higher level.
Yeah, Coach, exactly. And, you know, you're being a basketball player yourself of Bowling Green. I've did some research on your athletics at Bowling Green, and you're no stranger. You went actually into Kentucky and were able to beat Kentucky when you were a player at Bowling Green, and also Michigan State twice. And I know both of those teams were highly ranked, so you have some backing on that to say, hey, we were pumped up as ever to play. You know, obviously playing Kentucky, playing Michigan State. Now you know what the teams that are coming in. Like you said, that bullseye on your back.
Right, and, you know, I mean, you learn a lot through experiences you've had, and, you know, we always played the underdog role when I was in college. And so, you know, you can share those experiences and what those people are feeling like. And, you know, that's something we'll talk about this year. But what we're going to talk about, you know, we really don't talk about, hey, we have to win this game. This is a must-win, you know.
Right.
We talk about, hey, come out every day to practice and try to improve on your skills, try to improve on something. And we give them opportunities to do that because these guys, you know, this is not the end point for their career. They're all here for a reason, and they're trying to get to the next level. And so we try to create that type of atmosphere. And if they come in and do that, we're talented enough and deep enough that the wins will take care of themselves.
Coach, do you try to use examples from last year's team in your team meetings and in your practice? I know that you said you want this team to create their own identity, and ultimately that's what it is. You want each team to be different and more unique than the team that came before them. But obviously there has to be something from that team last year, either an example or something that you can use to kind of help motivate and get the kids rallied up for this year.
We do, and, you know, I think the biggest you know, learning tool you have is experience. And if you haven't been through that, obviously it's nice to share examples of that. You know, we don't compare players to each other, but we compare examples, just like you said. You know, and something that resonated through my first year here when we finished third in the nation into that second year was, you know, sharing of the ball. I mean, we had last year 8 different people score 20 points or more. And the last one to finally do it was the Lincoln kid, Louis Schonauer, and that was at the national tournament, and I had to give him a hard time. I said, about time you
no
get
better
there.
time.
Yeah.
He's saving it for the last.
On the biggest stage of the year. So, you know, we had 8 different people score 20 points. And when you do that, you know, you're going to be a good ball team, and you're able to share the ball, and people don't care who's getting the points. At the end of the day, you know, they're just wanting to play the best and put the numbers up on the scoreboard to help us win.
Yeah, Coach, you say your first year you get third in the nation, and then last year, you know, you're a champion of National Junior College Division II. You can't get you're off to a pretty good start.
That's not
what happens what happens when it goes the other way?
There's only one way to go right now. So we got to maintain.
Hey, Coach, you have. You talk about recruiting. I mean, you're talking about your first year recruiting. I talked to you with this about you before and how it was difficult the old gym you were in, new things. Now, Coach, how easy was it for you to get out on the road this summer or after the season? You just come off a national championship. You just opened a new arena, a beautiful arena. I just got a chance to tour it fully about 3 weeks ago. How easy was it for you and your assistants to go out and say, hey, come here and look at this, or even did you have a lot more people calling you now because of the national championship?
Well, you always get phone calls, and recruiting's never easy, but it sure allows us to get in the door a lot easier is what it does. The bottom line is, we have a couple of really good new assistants. This last year was Chad Harmon, and Tanner Morris this year. So we got 2 assistants on campus, and we still have, Corey Farmer and Ryan Cross that help us out. So we got a great coaching staff. But from the recruiting standpoint, when you go from the gym that we were in to the new facility we have, and you get the kind of the shock and awe factor when you get them on campus. And obviously, winning, people want to play for winners, and we've been able to pull in some really good kids this year. Number one, from having a bigger coaching staff and getting out there. Number 2, from winning. And then you're able to get in the door and talk to those people, and then you got the shock and awe when you get them on campus. And so it's helped tremendously, just being able to, win, and, success breeds success. You just got to keep that train rolling.
Yeah, and you definitely have so far, Coach. 17 home games at the new arena, so a lot of chance for the people of Lincoln and Logan County to come out and check the links out this year, and of course check out that new facility they have on campus. Coach, talk a little bit about your roster. Some of the guys, of course, you have the big name coming back, and Kyle Turpin. Maybe one of the best kept secrets, of course, in high school, coming out of Normal West High School in Bloomington. But talk about him and his transfer to going to be going to Florida State, of course. A lot of people have read that in the paper. And then some of the guys, of course, Louis Schonauer. I know Demarius Summerall is a big contributor from last year. It's going to be back. You do have some experience coming back to mix in with some good freshmen.
Yeah, it's a nice mix. I mean, we turned 3 starters. And, obviously the Kyle Turpin, 7-footer. We listed him at 7 foot this year. He's a big boy, but he catapulted onto the scene last year, especially at the national tournament, garnering MVP honors. He's going to be off to Florida State after he. Really, I received phone calls from every Big Ten school, almost every Pac-10 school, ACC school, Texas. I mean, he just had a phenomenal tournament, and that's what happens in recruiting. He blew up on a big scene, and he's going to go down to Florida State and play for the Seminoles next year.
Yeah.
And obviously has some unfinished business for us this year. So we're excited to have him back, and obviously returning 3 starters off last year's team, help with the preseason ranking. But he's going to do a very nice job for us. And one of the things about Kyle is he's kind of a perimeter player at 6'11", 7 foot. So he's going to have to establish a low post presence for us, though, and that's going to be one of the biggest factors to our success this year, is having somebody fill that role left by Chris Ware, who was our first-team All-American last year, that was exceptionally skilled on the low post. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a big key for us. Louis Schonauer, you're always going to get effort and consistency from him. And one thing that's really impressed me with him is his ball handling ability to get to the basket on the bounce. It's just been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Demarius Summerall, high motor kid. We always give Demarius a hard time. He's one of those guys that likes to get out there on the fast break and cherry pick a little bit. And, he comes up at least 1 or 2 dunks a game just from being in the right place at the right time. And so it's an exciting player to watch right there in him. So.
Yeah, Coach, you've definitely got the guys coming back and some new guys. I'm looking at your roster here, a couple guys from Peoria Richwoods. You've got a guy from Miami, Florida, Darlington, South Carolina, Apex, North Carolina. So, maybe some of the ranking got you in some of these guys out of state especially.
It really did. You're able to sell your program a little bit more. Like I said, able to get your foot in the door just to begin with. So, we have the 2 kids from Peoria Richwoods who finished second in the state last year, Tylen Deal. He reminds me a lot of Keon Smith, who's playing at Illinois State. Mm-hmm. Pit bull mentality, really tough and hard-nosed. So that was a great pickup for us to handle the ball for us. And then Tony Frazier, a kid from Peoria Richwoods, who is listed as the best athlete in the city last year.
Yeah.
He's been a little bit injured, but he'll provide some excitement to us. And then you have a couple 6'9" kids on the roster we're excited about. However, the one kid from Miami actually broke and dislocated his finger, so he's going to be out till January. That's kind of a wait and see what we're going to do with that. And then He'll be really good, though. And then Arthur Gage reminds me a lot of Kyle Turpin. And at our level, we got to find kids like that,
Sure.
that are kind of flying underneath the radar that want to be good. And, Arthur has a chance. He still has a long way to go, but we're excited he's part of our program and get going. But you'll see on the roster, too, I got a kid from Indiana, so we got some different states represented.
Sure.
Kevin Kidd. He's not the tallest guy in the whole world, but I tell you what, probably one of the better shooters on the team. He was MVP of the All-Star game over in Indiana last year with kids going to Michigan State and Purdue. So I think we got a lot of facets covered.
You mentioned a little bit about that unfinished business that you're hoping to take care of from last year. There are probably a couple of things from last year that maybe you wish you could have done maybe toward the end of the season. Excuse me. And that unfinished business that you're talking about, kind of by taking a look at your schedule here, is there a team that jumps out on that schedule against you guys that you're saying, okay, here's where that unfinished business, this is where we need to take care of it?
Well, I think our second game of the year, we played Kirkwood. And if you guys don't know anything about Kirkwood over in Iowa, their coach has been there for about 12 years. They've been to the national tournament probably 10 out of the last 12 years. Doug Wagemeister, you guys all remember the big upset last year with Kansas getting knocked off by Northern Iowa and the Frick or Moosh, I can't pronounce his name, but he played at Kirkwood. So they got a 6'9" kid from Iowa this year that transferred in, and they play hard. They play intense, and we've played them the last few years to start off the season at Quincy, and it's a good, what I call a barometer test for your team. You're going to come out, and they're going to punch you right in the face, and they're going to get in you really hard. And so it's interesting to see how your kids respond in those situations. So I'm glad we have them on the schedule. When I played Doug the first year, I said, I always want to play you out of the gate. But that'll be our first true test. And if you take a look at our schedule, we'll play Lewis and Clark. They finished 4th in the nation last year, Division II. They've since moved to Division I, which allows them to give full scholarships. They got a 7-foot Serbian kid on their team now. They'll be very good. We play them twice. We're going to play Southeastern Iowa over in Burlington, who went to the national tournament Division I last year. Tyler, Texas, Olney twice, and their Division I school. So our schedule, I didn't do us any favors here, but I knew we'd be pretty good. But, you want to challenge your kids. And our goal has always been playing our best basketball when it comes March. So, hopefully the schedule allows us to do that, and then we don't hit too many speed bumps along the way. But obviously we'll use those as growing experiences.
Yeah, Coach, you're definitely right, and that's what you had last year was definitely playing your best basketball late in the season. It looks like the first home game for the Lynx is going to be November 10th. Will be only at Lincoln, 7:30 game time at of course the new arena there on Lincoln College's campus. But Coach, talk a little bit about the season tickets. You guys have the opportunity now. I know you have some chairback seats on one side and some bleachers on the other, but you have the opportunity to really do some things differently, and one of those is season tickets, buying a seat, all those kind of things that people from the community can do to support the Lynx and go out and watch a good basketball team.
I think it's going to be very entertaining. The package is starting with men and women's season tickets, and there's 23, actually about 25 games counting the classics, and there's different package levels, but we do have the chairback seating. There's about 300 people that have their own individual seats, so that's exciting. But we're also doing a Hall of Fame club room. Then the club is actually going to be sponsored by Gazzardo, so there's going to be some good food in there, and coaches will come in right before the game and give a little quick speech about what to expect and place to store their coats, and we even have a TV in there for them to try to create that college atmosphere. Sure. And so there's still some season tickets available, and you can pick those up or by calling Lincoln College, so the athletic office. But we have a lot of opportunity for the community to come now, and we didn't have that before. And I think we play some pretty good, have really good sports teams out here at the college, and obviously this new facility is going to allow for, some families to come in and watch some exciting entertainment.